team. I am young scientist Roshan.
I am young scientist Varsha. I am young scientist Janisha.
I am young scientist Vetriarasan.
I am young scientist Darshini.
Today we are going to present our previous experiment finding titled Heat Conductivity. Heat is a form of energy. It flows from a hot substance to a cold substance. Heat can be conducted by some materials such as iron, copper, aluminium. These materials are called conductors. The materials that do not allow to conduct heat are called insulators, such as plastic, wood, leather. Non-metals such as carbon and sulfur are also capable of conducting heat. Although all metals are good heat conductors, they do not conduct heat at the same rate. Some metals are simply better heat conductors than others. Through this experiment, we want to prove which material allows better heat conduction.
The problem statement of our experiment is which material is a better heat conductor. The aim is to find out the relationship between different type of rods and the time taken for the thumbtack to draw from the rod. Hypothesis: copper takes shorter time to drop the thumbtack compared to iron, carbon, sulfur, wood and plastic. Now, let's see the variables. The manipulated variable, different type of rods. The corresponding variable, time taken for the thumbtack to draw from the rod. The constant variable, length of the rods, thickness of the rods, type of thumbtack, size of thumbtack, amount of wax, type of wax and temperature of water 100 degrees Celsius. Apparatus and materials. The apparatus are labo gas, metal ball, wire gauze, tripod, rods, copper, iron, carbon, sulfur, wood, plastic, thumbtack and stopwatch. The materials are water 100 degrees Celsius and wax. The procedure of our experiment is the rods, copper, iron, wood, plastic, sulfur and carbon was inserted into the prepared metal bowl. The thumbtack was stick to all rods using wax. The metal bowl was placed on top of the labo gas burner. The boiling water 100 degrees Celsius must pour into the metal bowl. Labo gas burner was lighted up to maintain the boiling temperature. The time taken for each of the thumbtack to drop was measured using a stopwatch. The result in the table was recorded. Safety precaution. Follow all the directions step by step. Do only one procedure at a time. Be careful when turning on the labo gas. Avoid touching the rods during experimentation. Do not touch the bowl filled with boiling water 100 Celsius. Beware with the thumbtack. Carefully when attaching to the rods. Handle the apparatus with care. This is the result table. Type of rod: copper, iron, carbon, sulfur, plastic and wood. These are the time taken for the thumbtack to drop. We did 5 trials. Copper, trial 1, 110 seconds. Trial 2, 107 seconds. Trial 3, 106 seconds. Trial 4, 106 seconds. Trial 5, 105 seconds. The average of the copper is 107 seconds. The same process we did for the other materials. The average of the iron is 242 seconds. The average of the carbon is 322 seconds. The average of the sulfur is 386 seconds. The plastic and wood did not fall. The copper takes a shorter time to drop the thumbtack compared to the iron, carbon, sulfur, plastic and wood. This is the bar chart. The average time taken for the copper to drop the thumbtack is lesser compared to the iron, carbon, sulfur, plastic and wood. The plastic and wood was not recorded in the bar chart because it did not fall. The conclusion. At the end of our experiment, we conclude that our hypothesis is accepted. The copper takes a shorter time to together iron, carbon, sulfur, plastic and wood. With this, we can prove that the copper is the best heat conductor overall.
Discussion. Heat transfer by conduction, transferring heat from one particle of matter to another without movement of matter itself. When the heat transfer from metal ball to copper and iron rods both become hot in a short time, it's because both metal rods have higher thermal heat conductivity so that it can allow heat to pass through easily. Thus, the wax begins to melt and the time taken for contact to fall become shorter. However, heat transfer from metal ball to carbon and sulfur rods will take time to become hot. Because although both are non-metals, it still has poor thermal heat conductivity so that it can allow heat to pass through compared with copper and iron rods. Hence, the wax taken time to melt and the take time to contact to fall become longer than copper and iron rods. In plastic and wood rods, heat does not transfer from metal ball because both have not thermal conductivity so that it does not allow heat to pass through compared with other four rods. Therefore, the wax does not melt and the contact does not fall. From this we know the hypothesis is acceptable. As a recommendation, we would like to suggest that firstly, we must make sure the whole experiment carried out in one place and in closed area. Secondly, we must make sure there is no air ventilation because it can affect the heat loss or heat gain by the rods. Finally, use the same level of flame for use